Hey everyone! Spring has finally arrived, and with it comes the promise of fresh blooms, lush gardens, and the chance to grow something amazing right in your own backyard. But before you dive into planting your flowers, veggies, and herbs, there's one crucial step that many gardeners overlook: mulching. Now I know what you're thinking. Mulch is just some stuff you throw down on the soil and forget about, right? Wrong. Mulch is one of the best things you can do for your garden, and today, I'm going to show you why it's an absolute game changer for your spring gardening routine. Mulch is like the secret weapon of gardening. It's like giving your plants a cozy blanket that not only protects them but also feeds them and keeps them strong. But here's the kicker. It's not just about tossing a random layer of mulch down and hoping for the best. There's a right way to do it to really get the most out of this gardening powerhouse. Let me tell you why mulch is such a big deal, and why you can't skip this step. First off, mulch acts as a moisture keeper. We all know that water is key for plant health, especially in the warmer months. Mulch helps retain moisture in the soil, which means your plants will have a steady supply of water even during those hot, dry days. It acts like a natural barrier that prevents water from evaporating too quickly, allowing your plants to thrive with minimal watering. So, if you're tired of constantly running to the hose or dragging out the sprinkler, mulching is going to save you time, effort, and water. But wait, there's more! Mulch is also fantastic for suppressing weeds. If you've ever spent hours weeding your garden, you know how frustrating it can be. Weeds grow like crazy, and sometimes it feels like you can never get ahead of them. Mulch is like a 1-2 punch to weeds. Its dense layer blocks sunlight from reaching weed seeds, preventing them from germinating. Not only will this save you time in the long run, but it also means your plants will have less competition for nutrients, water, and sunlight. Let's talk about temperature control. Mulch is your garden's natural air conditioner. It helps moderate soil temperatures by keeping the ground cooler in summer and warmer in winter. Think of it as a temperature regulator, ensuring your plant roots aren't subjected to extreme heat or cold. This is especially important for those tender plants or new seedlings that can be extra sensitive to temperature fluctuations. And here's the bonus round. Mulch can actually improve the quality of your soil. As it breaks down over time, organic mulch like wood chips, straw, or leaves adds rich organic matter to the soil. This improves soil structure, enhances its ability to retain nutrients, and helps create a thriving environment for your plant roots to grow deep and strong. Healthy soil means healthy plants, and that's the ultimate goal. Now I can already hear you asking, but how do I know what kind of mulch to use? And that's a great question. In the next part of the video, I'm going to dive into the different types of mulch and explain which one works best for your specific garden needs. We'll break it all down so you can confidently choose the right mulch for your garden. So stick around, because whether you're a beginner or an experienced gardener, mastering the art of mulching is going to make your spring garden pop like never before. Are you ready to mulch your way to a healthier, more vibrant garden? Let's jump into it. Now that we know how powerful mulch can be, let's dive into the fun part: choosing the right mulch for your garden. There are a ton of options out there, so how do you pick the one that's perfect for your needs? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Let's break down the different types of mulch and figure out which one works best for your garden. First up, we've got organic mulch. This is the go-to option for most gardeners because it provides a lot of benefits beyond just looking pretty. Organic mulch comes from natural materials that break down over time and enrich your soil with organic matter. As it decomposes, it gives your plants the nutrients they need to grow strong and healthy, improving the overall health of your garden bed. Some of the most popular organic mulches include wood chips, bark, straw, leaves, grass clippings, and even compost. But how do you decide which one to choose? Let's start with wood chips and bark. These are great for larger garden beds, flower beds, or even around trees and shrubs. They're chunky, which means they help with moisture retention while also providing some structure to your garden. They also last longer than finer mulches like shredded leaves, so they're a good choice if you're looking for something more permanent. The downside? They don't decompose as quickly, so they might not improve your soil as much as other types of mulch. Still, they're an excellent option for adding a rustic, natural look to your garden and cutting down on weeds. Next, we've got straw and hay. These are ideal for vegetable gardens and areas where you want to keep things lightweight. Straw breaks down faster than wood chips, so it helps improve soil quality more quickly. It's also a great option for creating a weed-free environment because it blocks sunlight so well. But here's the catch, straw can sometimes come with weed seeds of its own, so make sure to get a high-quality, weed-free variety if you go this route. It's best to spread a thick layer of straw to prevent weeds from making their way into your garden. Then there's shredded leaves, which are one of the best organic mulches you can use for flower beds and vegetable gardens. Leaves break down quickly and create a rich, nutrient-packed layer on top of your soil. They're also free if you've got trees in your yard, so you're essentially recycling something that would otherwise go to waste. Plus, they're great at insulating your plants during the colder months, protecting them from frost. However, when shredded leaves are left too thick, they can mat together, creating a barrier that prevents air and water from reaching the soil. So be mindful of the thickness when applying. Another excellent option is grass clippings. If you've been mowing your lawn, you've probably got a ton of clippings lying around. These can be a great addition to your garden, as they break down quickly and add nitrogen to the soil. The only thing to watch out for is making sure the grass hasn't been treated with pesticides or herbicides, as those chemicals can harm your plants. A thin layer of grass clippings can help suppress weeds, but be sure to let them dry out a bit before spreading them so they don't get too slimy and compacted. Now, if you're not keen on using organic materials or you're looking for something a little different, we have inorganic mulch. These types of mulch don't break down over time, so they don't enrich the soil. However, they can be just as effective at keeping your garden looking neat and maintaining moisture. Inorganic mulches include materials like rubber mulch, often made from recycled tires, and gravel. Rubber mulch is super durable, won't break down, and helps control weeds and moisture just like other mulches. It's a popular choice for play areas or around trees and shrubs because it lasts for years. But it does have a few downsides. First, it can be pretty expensive, and second, it doesn't add nutrients to the soil like organic mulch. Plus, it can get pretty hot in the summer, which isn't ideal for delicate plants. Gravel mulch, on the other hand, is great for xeriscaping or areas where you want a more decorative look. It helps with drainage and doesn't need to be replaced often, but it's not the best choice if you're looking to enrich your soil or retain moisture in flower beds. So which mulch should you pick? Well, it really depends on what your garden needs. If you're growing vegetables or want to improve your soil over time, organic mulch like shredded leaves, straw, or grass clippings is your best bet. If you're more interested in durability or a decorative look, then rubber mulch or gravel might be a good choice. In the next part, we'll cover how to apply mulch properly to get the best results. Trust me, it's not just about dumping it on the ground and walking away. There's a method to the madness that will ensure your garden thrives. Stay tuned. Now that you've got your mulch all picked out, it's time for the fun part, actually applying it to your garden. But before you start dumping piles of mulch everywhere, there's a right way to do this to make sure your plants get all the benefits without any of the downsides. The good news is, applying mulch is easy once you know the steps, and I'm here to walk you through it. Step 1. Prep your garden bed. Before you even think about spreading mulch, you need to prep your garden bed properly. This might sound like extra work, but trust me, it's worth it in the end. First, clear the area of any weeds, dead plants, or old mulch. If you're remulching a bed, you might have leftover mulch from last season, and that's fine. But make sure it's not too thick or compacted. You want to make sure you're not smothering any new growth. Once you've removed the weeds, take a few minutes to loosen the soil. This helps the mulch to settle in better and ensures that the soil can still breathe properly. Use a garden rake or hoe to break up any compacted soil, especially around the root zones of your plants. This will give your plants the best environment to grow strong and healthy. Now, if you're dealing with a really stubborn weed problem, you can add a layer of landscape fabric or newspaper before mulching. These materials help suppress weeds and keep them from coming through your mulch. Just make sure to trim any excess fabric or paper to avoid it sticking up around the edges. But be careful, not every garden bed needs this. In some cases, the mulch itself will be enough to keep weeds under control. Step 2. Lay the mulch evenly. Here's where the magic happens, laying down the mulch. First off, you'll want to aim for a thickness of about 2 to 4 inches of mulch across your garden bed. Too thin, and it won't provide the benefits you need. Too thick, and it could suffocate your plants or prevent water from reaching the soil. A balanced layer is key. When you're spreading mulch, be sure to do it evenly. You want to cover the entire surface, but you also want to be mindful of the space around your plants. Mulch should not touch the base of your plant stems or tree trunks. This is super important. Piling mulch up against the stem or trunk can cause rot or other diseases. Instead, create a small gap of about an inch or so around the base of each plant. Think of it like a mulch donut around your plants. If you're mulching around trees, make sure not to create a volcano of mulch. It's easy to get carried away and pile the mulch too high at the base of a tree, but this can trap moisture and lead to rot or fungal growth. Keep the mulch level around the trunk, tapering down as it moves outwards. You want a nice even layer that supports healthy root growth without being too restrictive. Step 3. Water after mulching. You've got your mulch down. Now what? It's time to give everything a good water. Why? Well, mulching alone won't help your plants if they're dry. After you spread the mulch, take the time to water your garden deeply. This will help settle the mulch into place and provide moisture to your plants. Plus, watering right after mulching helps prevent any gaps or air pockets from forming in the mulch, which can lead to problems down the road. Make sure to water the area thoroughly, especially if it's been a dry day or two. Watering will also help the mulch settle into the soil, giving it a better grip and preventing it from blowing away in the wind. Step 4. Regular maintenance. Once the mulch is down and your plants are happy, the work isn't entirely over. Mulch will break down over time, and as it does, it will need replenishing. A good rule of thumb is to check your mulch layer every few weeks and top it up as necessary to maintain that 2 to 4 inch thickness. If you notice any spots where the mulch has worn thin or been washed away, it's time to add more. Also, keep an eye on how your plants are responding. If they're looking a little too dry or too damp, you may need to adjust the thickness of your mulch or tweak your watering schedule. Mulch should act as a helper, not a barrier, so pay attention to how the soil underneath is behaving. One last tip. Every few months, gently fluff the mulch with a rake to prevent it from compacting and to encourage airflow. Compacted mulch can lead to moisture issues and poor soil health, so giving it a little loosening will keep everything fresh and breathable. And there you have it. Everything you need to know about applying mulch correctly to your garden. It's simple when you break it down into manageable steps. Prep your garden, apply the right amount of mulch, water it in, and maintain it throughout the season. Following these guidelines will not only make your garden look beautiful, but will also ensure your plants stay healthy, hydrated, and happy all spring and summer long. Alright, you've got your mulch down, and your garden is looking fabulous. But here's the thing, mulching isn't a one-and-done job. To get the most out of your mulch, you'll need to do a little bit of maintenance throughout the season. Plus, there are a few common mistakes people make when mulching that can easily be avoided with a little extra attention. So, let's dive into maintaining your mulch layer and keeping everything in tip-top shape. Maintaining your mulch. How to keep it healthy and effective. First things first, mulch doesn't last forever. Over time, it will break down, decompose, and get washed away by rain. That's why it's essential to keep an eye on your mulch and top it up when needed. Ideally, you should check your mulch layer once a month or so to make sure it's still at that perfect 2 to 4 inch thickness. If you notice that your mulch has thinned out or been moved around thanks to wind, rain, or just the natural settling process, it's time to refresh it. Adding a new layer of mulch not only keeps things looking fresh, but it also ensures that your garden continues to reap all the benefits: moisture retention, weed suppression, and temperature control. When replenishing mulch, don't just dump it on top of the old layer. Instead, gently rake the old mulch to break it up and mix it in with the new layer. This helps to prevent a compacted mulch mess, which can block water from reaching the soil. It also encourages decomposition of the old mulch, which adds nutrients back into the soil. Another great maintenance tip is to check for any spots where the mulch may have become uneven or bunched up. You don't want areas where the mulch is too thick, as this can suffocate your plants, nor do you want areas where it's too thin and ineffective. By keeping the mulch layer uniform, your garden will stay healthy and vibrant all season long. Avoiding common mulching mistakes. Now let's talk about some of the most common mulching mistakes and how to avoid them. It's easy to make these errors if you're new to gardening, but with a little awareness, you can easily sidestep them. Mistake number 1, mulching too early. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make is mulching too early in the season. You may be eager to get started, but applying mulch before the soil is warmed up can actually trap cold temperatures in the soil, slowing down the growth of your plants. The best time to mulch is when the soil has reached a warm temperature, which usually happens in late spring. This ensures your plants will benefit from the insulation mulch provides without any of the negative effects. Mistake number 2, mulching too close to plant stems or tree trunks. Remember how I told you to leave a little space around your plants when you lay down mulch? That's because piling mulch right up against plant stems or tree trunks can cause rot or fungal problems. When mulch touches the base of your plants, it keeps moisture trapped, which can lead to decay and root damage. Always leave about an inch of space around the base of your plants to allow for air circulation. Mistake number 3, using the wrong type of mulch. Not every mulch is right for every garden. As we discussed in the last section, choosing the right mulch for your plants is crucial. For example, wood chips are great for trees and shrubs, but they might be too dense for vegetable gardens, where you want something lighter. Using the wrong type of mulch can lead to poor plant health or excessive water retention. Make sure to choose a mulch that fits your garden's needs. Mistake number 4, applying too much mulch. It's tempting to think that more is better, but applying too much mulch can actually harm your plants. A mulch layer thicker than 4 inches can suffocate plant roots and prevent water from getting through to the soil. Plus, a thick mulch layer can cause it to become compacted over time, which will interfere with air circulation and water infiltration. Stick to that sweet spot of 2 to 4 inches for the best results. Mistake number 5, not checking for weeds underneath the mulch. Even though mulch does a great job of suppressing weeds, it's still important to make sure that weeds aren't getting a head start under the mulch layer. If you've got a thick mulch layer, weeds can sometimes sneak in, especially if you didn't thoroughly clear the area before mulching. Before applying mulch, take the time to remove any weeds that are already growing. This way, you'll get the full benefit of your mulch layer without any unwanted surprises popping up. Mistake number 6, ignoring the need for regular watering. Remember that mulch helps retain moisture in the soil, but it's not a replacement for regular watering. Your garden still needs water, especially during dry spells. Be sure to water your plants deeply after mulching and keep an eye on them throughout the season. Mulch will help reduce the amount of watering you need to do, but it's still essential to make sure your plants stay hydrated. There you have it, the full scoop on how to maintain your mulch and avoid some of the most common mistakes that can trip you up. By keeping your mulch layer refreshed and following a few simple guidelines, you can ensure your garden stays healthy, vibrant, and ready to bloom all spring and summer long. So, remember, mulch is your garden's best friend, but just like any good friend, it needs a little care and attention to keep it working at its best. Keep an eye on your mulch, replenish it as needed, and avoid those common mistakes, and you'll have a garden that's the envy of your neighborhood. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more gardening tips. See you in the next video, and happy mulching! Music fades.